Thank you for joining me again today for another episode. As I always say, I don't really call it a podcast. It's not a video blog. It's somewhere in between where I interview fun and exciting people in the franchise world. And today I have with me an awesome couple, or well, they're not a couple. That didn't come out right. An awesome pair, a tandem. How's that? Representing the Hello Sugar franchise brand. Anna Ferland and Allie Galvan, both directors of franchise development for the Hello Sugar brand. I glossed right over myself. Of course, I'm John Anderson, that franchise guy. Yeah, you can see right there. And thanks again for joining me. And with that, I'd like to welcome you guys today. Tell us, briefly about yourselves, and let's get into Hello Sugar.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we really appreciate you getting us on with you guys. Super excited to share more about Hello Sugar and really how we're changing the game of franchising. A little bit about my background. I've been a franchise development director for a majority of my career. I actually have spent a lot of my time in the health, wellness, beauty, fitness space. So I get it. I work with the candidates day in and day out to help them understand why their wives or why the women in their lives spend so much of that credit card statement on these types of services. And it's because it's not going anywhere. So I love the brand. It really is unique in how they're doing it, which we'll dive deeper in here in just a little bit. But based here in Denver, Colorado, and love Hello Sugar. So Anna, I'll pass it off to you.
Thanks, Allie. Hey, everyone. I'm Anna Ferland. Super excited to chat all things Hello Sugar with you guys today. A little bit about my background. I am a franchisee as well as a director of franchise development. I am based here in San Antonio, Texas, and clearly bleed the brand. So super excited to dive into sort of the 5 key takeaways, all things Hello Sugar. Guys, Hello Sugar is a tech company that just so happens to be in the beauty space. Some of the 5 key takeaways we'll dive into is our launch strategy. So Hello Sugar is really unique because we typically start in a salon suite and then we'll eventually go into your flagship space, which is your brick and mortar. Hello Sugar is also the only franchise concept to offer wax, sugar, and laser all under one roof. In addition to that, like I mentioned, we are an AI and technology focused company. So we are receptionless, which we'll dive into in a second. And how do we get clients in the door? 100% of the marketing is done for you as a franchisee. So we'll dive into some of those weeds as well.
Oh wow, that's awesome. So there's a whole lot to unpack in there, and I'm looking forward to exploring that a little bit for sure. So you're a franchisee as well. So you have a whole complementary story, I guess, to tack on to your franchise development as you talk to people. I'm a franchise owner myself as well, and I understand it really helps people in their journey and being able to explain in real terms, because we live it every day, what they can expect. So I think that's
Absolutely.
fantastic. So
And John, I would say with that in mind, something that's unique is not only do we have a director that's a franchisee, but 90% of the leadership team are franchisees themselves too. So I always like telling candidates that you're not just learning about the brand and then hoping the people in the glass castle can actually execute and support you. They're walking the walk, they're talking the talk,
right.
they're making sure that anything we bring in is to the benefit of the franchisee. So all the things that make us unique really is stemming from that background and that backstory as well.
Yeah, that's really interesting. So is there like territory left? You guys own it all yourselves, and obviously that's why we're here talking, folks. There's lots of territory left. Um, so talk a little bit about how the brand got started. Why waxing? How did it become to take this tech technical
Yeah.
approach, technologically approach to hair removal? Talk about that a
Yeah.
little bit.
So, Brigham Dallas is our founder. Brigham is a male. And I wouldn't say Brigham necessarily, he didn't even know what a Brazilian wax was. What really was very impressive to Brigham was the finances behind it. You can typically get 3 to 4 services done in 1 hour with an average ticket of $58. And so that's what really started Brigham's journey. He did start Hello Sugar back in 2015, where we're headquartered in Phoenix, Arizona, and has now brought Hello Sugar to where we're at today at 110 locations. And so, that technology approach that you just mentioned, John, wasn't always there. As we've sort of grown and expanded, the idea from the corporate side has always been, how can we implement and streamline efficiencies for franchisees as well as clients? And so that's really where we kind of brought in the technology piece of AI and being receptionless and really making it a smooth experience for clients as well as franchisees, not having to worry about that additional 40% overhead as a receptionist.
Love it. I love it. So 2015, how long have you been franchising now?
We started franchising
Franchising.
back in 2021.
Okay, so yeah, and for the record, everybody, this is recorded. We are just early February 2025, right before the Chiefs win their third Super Bowl in a row on this
Oh,
coming
John, I don't
Sunday.
know about that. I don't know about that. You got some Eagles fans over here.
Well, good luck to you, maybe next year. All right. We're moving right along, right? And of course, it'll probably be next week after the game when I get this uploaded and posted and all the results. And so maybe I just made a fool out of myself. But anyway, we've digressed. Let's get back onto Hello Sugar. Um, so yeah, let's talk about. You mentioned your founder, and Brigham is the name, right? Is a guy. What do you see in this industry in terms of your ownership? Male versus female, maybe couples doing it together. What does that look like? And who is to expand on that? What is the typical ideal candidate look like for you?
Yeah, that's such a great question. The amount of candidates that are on our calendars day in and day out that are male is actually, I'd say about 75, 80%. Whether it's just the guy coming directly to us and saying, hey, I've been presented this opportunity, the numbers and the business make sense for what I need. I want to learn more about it. Now, oftentimes we'll see either the male candidate or the husband and wife candidate. They both work extremely well with the business, and they're going to see people that look like them, have backgrounds similar to them when they're on franchisee calls and if they join Hello Sugar. Now, what that background typically consists of and really who we want to work with today are people that have leadership and management skills. So we actually do see quite a few corporate refugees or even those that are saying, hey, my goal is to retire or step out of corporate America in maybe the next year or two, but I really want to start something up now. And I know how to lead people. I know how to manage people, but I need to sit in the executive chair. I don't need my hands in the business. I need to be working on it. So that's really what type of candidates we're seeing today: leadership, management experience. They're tech savvy. We're a tech company at heart. So those people who have trouble logging onto Zoom, getting on the Google calls, all of those things, maybe we're not the right fit for them. But really, we're working with those empire builders. So really how our system works with that salon suite to flagship strategy, it allows them to start scaling quickly and out of the gate. And they love it. So really that's who we're looking for today and who they're also going to see on the other end of those franchisee calls as well.
So two follow-ups. One, the first, so they don't have to quit what they're doing and go all in on this, right? They can keep a job or own another business and operate it.
Yeah, 100%. I'd say with that, we're always going to make sure that they at least have the ability to dedicate 10, 15 hours to the business
Yeah.
that year one. The people who tell me, hey, Allie, I'm on Zoom calls from 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. I'm stuck to my desk. I really can't do anything. I'm going to say, okay, well, we need to make sure you have the ability or the willingness to get into the business if you need to, or you have someone that you can identify who can sit kind of in that management chair for you. So definitely can still maintain a W-2 job. I mean, majority of our leadership team, they spend more time working with franchisees than managing their business. So
Yeah.
again, we walk the walk and talk the talk there.
Well, I think that's a great way to put it because I mean, I tell people the same thing. If they say, "Well, I'm free for the weekends. I can do it on the weekends." I'm like, most businesses, even though they might be labeled semi-absentee, aren't going to work if you can't answer a phone call or take a text message between 9 to 5. You're going to have problems. You've got to,
Exactly.
whether it's stuff that the manager should be able to handle or toilet broke or the laundry machine, the washing machine broke, or
Right.
you got to step in and fix that stuff for people sometimes, and sometimes it's a matter of 30 seconds, but it can't wait till 5 o'clock. So um,
Exactly.
perfect. Now I have a very good understanding of exactly that. So let's talk a little bit about the startup. You mentioned the suites to more of a built out salon, and obviously there's a bigger investment in the latter. How do you see most people getting started with Hello Sugar, and how do you recommend?
Yeah, we typically see most people starting in the salon suite concept. We will have a few franchisees here and there that want to go straight into the flagship. And so typically, for those of you guys that don't know what a salon suite is, picture a large piece of real estate with 10 by 10 rooms that you can lease out. And they're typically for the beauty space. So they'll have barbers, hairstylists, nail artists, etc. So the idea behind starting in a salon suite is you have an initial investment of anywhere between 96 to 120,000, and you're starting with about 2 to 3 estheticians. Now we love the salon suite concept because you can get up and running within 60 to 90 days, which means you guys sign tomorrow, you're already generating revenue within 60 to 90 days. Whereas your typical flagship, which is our brick and mortar, that can typically take on average, I would say about a year. It could be done a lot quicker, but let's just set that average about a year. So the idea behind the salon suite is let's season our staff, let's build our clientele. You are also brand new to the concept, so also understand the business model and how to manage and lead your team. And once that flagship is ready to go, you can close that salon suite down, move your staff and clientele into that flagship, and you already have a proven book of business. So your break even point in the flagship is a lot sooner. You're not just throwing money at a flagship location and not generating revenue for a year or so.
Anna, I'll add on to that. We are seeing a lot of, because of our incubator strategy, we are seeing a lot of people start with either 2 to 3 units out of the gate. And it makes sense for them. They're able to say, hey, I'm going to start pre-seeding 2 different areas of my market with the salon suite. I'm going to start looking for real estate in my backyard where I know this market extremely well. I'm already learning these 2 areas, but now I'm opening up a flagship within year one, have 2 other businesses that are also generating revenue by the end of the year. Now I have, 3 sources of revenue that are coming in. And then we're now able to really start tracking that revenue growth in the salon suites and give them the confidence of when those suites need to get turned on and graduate into a flagship. So they're securing a lot of territory out of the gate. They're able to have, 2, 3 streams of revenue by 12 months, 12, 16 months. That's really unique and really amazing for them. Then gives them the confidence that, hey, I can pay my rent, I can pay my people. Now I can really start having fun in what I wanted to do with this business.
Love it. So yeah, now I'm trying to go back to Anna's 5 points, and I know there's stuff that I'm missing. So because I remember saying, right, there's a lot to unpack here, and we're going to get
Yeah.
to it. So let's talk about some of the things. I think you mentioned the tech piece and marketing and some things like that, but in the context of what makes Hello Sugar an ideal opportunity for somebody who's just looking at a franchise period, has no idea what they want necessarily, but then narrowing it down to, okay, they kind of know they want semi-absentee or they want the beauty space, you know, what helps you guys stand out and why they need to be looking at that?
Absolutely. I mean, earlier on, I mentioned the waxing, sugaring, and laser piece all under one roof. From a client perspective, that's really where we stand out. But from a franchisee perspective, the way I want you guys to look at this is think there's 4 pillars to success, I think, in any beauty concept. And just picture a table. One of the legs is the reception leg, right? How are their inquiries being handled? And how are they being booked? And there's the marketing leg. How am I getting those clients in the door to begin with? And then you have your education leg. Like Allie mentioned, about 80% of our franchisees are males. So, they don't know how to educate. And I'm also not an esthetician. So I don't know how to educate my staff either. And so there's that education leg. And then you have the leadership leg, which is the leg that we stand on as franchisees. Leadership is my main focus. And so to kind of dive into the marketing leg specifically, 100% of the marketing is done for you. And I don't know about you guys, but I am no marketing guru. And so with that being said, we focus a lot on digital marketing. You set a budget, the marketing team handles that budget, and we have a bunch of internal KPI dashboards that you can utilize to track that. And as you're tracking your KPIs, the marketing team is giving you reports and giving suggestions on putting maybe more of your budget towards Meta or more of your budget towards Google. And all of that is monitored by the marketing director's team. And then that way I'm getting, quality clients completing appointments into my doors. And I'm not worried about getting additional clients into the doors.
Awesome. What else, as people are considering a franchise, considering, the beauty space, um,
Yeah.
anything else that you would add, like, hey, this is a reason why you need to be looking at us and forget the rest?
Yep. I would say at the end of the day, and I know we've kind of said this multiple
Mhm.
times different ways, we're a tech company. We just so happen to be in the beauty space. So most people, when they're thinking of, hey, I think I want to start a business, a lot of the times they don't think of the headaches that are going to come up month 3, month 6, month 12. We've already pre-thought of that. So we're really looking at how do we give you the tools to be successful? I always tell candidates, we're going to lead you to water. We just can't force you to drink. That's on you to execute and be the leader in the team. But what are those tools that we're doing? We're doing a reception. We have the technology that's stepping in to control the client experience. We're launching out new innovation from inventory management to building out our leadership team so we have more of a sniper approach versus a reactive rifle approach. We're able to really allow franchisees and potential candidates to understand how to scale a business without having to work 20 plus hours in it. We have a lot of franchisees that are, 8+ locations large now, and they're dedicating 5-10 hours to the business every week. And a lot of it's just checking on the team and strategically working with us to track those KPIs.
So how are you doing that as obviously, most, if not every franchise has an onboarding and launch program,
Yep.
but not everybody is great at that support from the time the door opens through the,
Right.
the life of your franchise agreement, right? I mean,
Yeah.
how do you, so I envision this, all right, if you're looking for leaders and managers, who's leading them? Who's coaching them? What does that look like?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's so funny. I actually was just talking to a candidate about this on my last call. When you first join the Hello Sugar team, you're going to be set off with the team that we call our brand start team. They're the people that are focused on, hey, let's make sure you're getting educated on how to run the business. What does this actually look like? What are the systems that you need to know to be successful? How do you hire and educate your estheticians as they're coming on? So right out of the gate, they're working with a few team members that are really just focused on opening up that business and opening it up successfully. Now, about 60, 90 days after those doors are open, we're tracking their progress and making the decision on when's the right time to put you with our chief growth officer and his growth team. Now, that team is solely dedicated to open locations that have kind of gone through that launch period where now we can be really diagnostic on what's going on in the business. We know, hey, you know the systems, you know the processes now. Well, now we can start really pulling up that P&L. You have the repetitions. Let's figure out what levers need to be pushed and pulled. Let's give you those recommendations. Over the last year, it was kind of one guy sitting in that chair. And if you can imagine, he was looking at 100+ P&Ls every single week and getting on calls with franchisees. That's a lot of work for one person on his plate. So as we continue growing, we now have 50+ franchise owners in the system. So now we're coming in to understand, hey, our chief growth officer can handle X, Y, and Z, but at some point he's going to cap out and we're not going to be able to give the support at the level that we need to each franchisee, which is why now we're building out a team of what Hello Sugar is calling snipers. Those snipers are going to be able to be a more targeted approach to the support that that individual franchisee needs. Maybe it's, John, we really need to talk about marketing. Let's look at your numbers. Let's talk to the marketing team. Let's be strategic on it. Maybe it's, hey, it's a personnel issue. You have an esthetician that just is not coachable and not trainable. They're not converting. Let's look at that and let's put you with our HR consultant. Let's give you the team member that is an expert in what they do, that they can really provide that one-on-one directed approach instead of casting a wide net and hoping you grab what you need to grab.
Yeah, I think that's really important because a lot of people, this will be their first run at running a business. Maybe they're really, really talented as a leader and running their own division
Yeah,
or their own, at the organization or the corporate America where they've worked. But it's a different animal when you start, running your own business and in a space that you might not be familiar with. So I think that
100%.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, we use the analogy a lot of skiing. I mean, I'm a Colorado girl, so
yeah,
skiing's in my blood. But the first time you go skiing or you watch people go skiing, you think, hey, that looks really cool, really fun. I'm going to be on a black diamond by my second run, right? Well, the first time you go skiing, you're falling a lot, you're in pain, it's expensive. It's really like, crap, do I want to do this again? But the more and more you go, the mountain doesn't get easier, you get better. And that's
yeah.
really what it's like with business ownership. And how do we give you the tools to be better on the mountain? The mountain's not going to change or go anywhere, but you're getting more proficient in it. And now you're an expert and you're going to be able to conquer that black diamond.
I love it. I love it. I've run out of questions to ask. As we wind up here, I always like to give you the opportunity, take, 30 seconds, a minute to anything that missed or didn't ask, or anything that you think is really important to leave folks with when they consider a franchise investment, and in particular with Hello Sugar.
Yeah, thanks so much, John. I appreciate that. I mean, guys, look, Allie really wrapped that up really well. I love the black diamond analogy there. But ultimately, like when you guys think of, John, to your point, like what's the support on that end? The beauty that Ali mentioned earlier is 90% of our leadership team are also franchisees. So they're walking the same walk that you're going to be walking. And anything and any innovation that we launch on the corporate side is always typically going to benefit us. Otherwise, we're not going to launch it, right? Because it's going to affect us just as much. And so anything that we do at Hello Sugar is with the intention of increasing profits and decreasing expenses. Any rollout. And so, guys, there's ultimately a Brazilian reasons why you guys should come say hello to us. And at the end of the day, you guys, I know we kind of covered high level view of reception, education, and marketing and leadership. But guys, there's so much more awesome things that we offer on all of those different legs of the table. And so we really look forward to saying hello. And John, really appreciate you giving Allie and I the time to connect with you and chat all things Hello Sugar.
Yeah, of course. Allie, do you have anything to add?
No,
You're good.
she crushed it.
Okay.
I think that's the best way to end it. We definitely
Perfect.
want you guys to join the business. Our whole goal is it hurts less for the client, but really our focus on it hurts less for you as a business owner. So
Yeah.
eager to continue on the conversations and find the right market that works for everyone.
Absolutely. So, first off, if you would like to learn more about Hello Sugar, you can reach out to me, LinkedIn, YouTube, or thatfranchiseguy.com, and I'll certainly hit the high level. Just so you know, there's a whole lot more to learn. This is a usually 6 to 8 step process that takes a couple months, or at least a month to get through, and you just got 30 minutes of it. So there's a whole lot more to do and learn. And if this is resonating with you or speaking to you, please reach out to me, and I'll connect you with Hello Sugar. Thank you both for joining me today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, John.
Thanks,
All
John.
right, so I will